You know, money is a bit like a bad boyfriend or girlfriend. You can't live with it, you can't live without it, and it never seems to stick around long enough to pay the bills. Money, that elusive thing we all seem to chase, is a strange concept when you really think about it. It's just paper and metal, or these days, more often than not, a series of numbers on a screen. Yet it's capable of causing sleepless nights, joyous celebrations, and even world wars. It's a necessary evil, a driving force, an enabler, and a destroyer. It's the lifeblood of society, and yet it's also often its biggest headache. The concept of money has been around for as long as civilization itself, albeit in different forms. In the days of yore, our ancestors didn't have the luxury of swiping a card or clicking a button to make a purchase. They had to rely on the good old barter system, trading goods for goods. You know, I'll trade you 2 chickens for that shiny rock you found. It wasn't until someone had the bright idea to create a standardized form of currency that things really kicked off. This led to the birth of tangible money, from shells and beads to gold and silver coins. Fast forward a few centuries, and we entered the credit age, where money became more of an abstract concept represented by credit and debit cards. It was more about the promise of payment than actual physical currency. And now, we're in the digital age where cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are making waves and causing a stir. Money has become even less tangible, existing solely in the digital realm. It's quite a journey, isn't it? From bartering goods to digital currencies, money has evolved in ways our ancestors could never have imagined. So buckle up, folks. We're about to take a roller coaster ride through the ages, tracing the evolution of money without spending a dime. Once upon a time, before the invention of money, people traded goods and services directly. You know, like swapping your annoying little brother for a shiny new bicycle. This fascinating period was known as the barter system, a simple, straightforward method of trade. Imagine this. You're a farmer with a surplus of apples, but you need a new hoe for your orchard. You find a blacksmith in need of apples, and you strike a deal. This is bartering in its purest form. One party had something the other needed, and vice versa. It was the original, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours situation. The barter system had its charm, but it wasn't without its limitations. For starters, it required what economists call a double coincidence of wants. This essentially means that for a trade to occur, both parties needed to want what the other had to offer. So if the blacksmith wasn't in the mood for apples, you, my friend, were out of luck. Another issue was the lack of a standard measure of value. How many apples is a hoe worth? 10, 20, 100? Without a standard measure, trades could become complex and, let's be honest, a little awkward. These limitations led to the need for something more convenient, something that could serve as a medium of exchange. This something needed to be easily transportable, divisible, and universally accepted. It needed to be durable and scarce enough to maintain its value over time. Various cultures tried different mediums of exchange. In ancient China, they used miniature tools and weapons. In the Pacific Islands, they used rye stones, massive limestone wheels. But these were still cumbersome and impractical. Finally, society stumbled upon a brilliant solution. Using precious metals like gold and silver as money. These metals checked all the boxes. They were portable, divisible, durable, and universally accepted. Plus, they had the added bonus of being shiny and pretty to look at. And voila! The need for something more convenient gave birth to the concept of money. Because honestly, who has time to lug around a dozen chickens for a new pair of shoes? Then came the era of coins and paper money, where the value of money was as real as the weight in your pocket. And boy, did we love that jingle-jangle of coins or the crisp rustle of paper bills. It was a far cry from the cumbersome barter system. No more lugging around sacks of grain or herds of livestock just to get a pair of shoes. The introduction of coins, usually made of precious metals like gold, silver, or bronze, was a game changer. These coins had intrinsic value, meaning the material they were made of was valuable in and of itself. You could literally bite into a gold coin and taste the richness. Not that we recommend doing that, unless you're a pirate or a particularly eccentric millionaire. But coins were heavy, and, let's face it, a bit of a pain to carry around in large quantities. Enter paper money. Originally, these notes were simply promises to pay the bearer a certain amount of gold or silver. They were lighter, easier to carry, and less likely to lead to a hernia. Plus, they made it possible for us to store value in a way that wasn't directly tied to shiny bits of metal. Suddenly, wealth wasn't about how much you could physically hold, but about how many pieces of paper you had stashed away. It was a concept that took a little getting used to. Imagine explaining to your great-great-great-grandfather that this tiny piece of paper was worth a cow. He'd probably think you'd lost your marbles. But despite the odd looks from our ancestors, this system worked. Coins and notes became symbols, representations of wealth rather than wealth itself, and it was convenient. it afforded us the ability to trade across vast distances and allowed for the accumulation and storage of wealth in a way the barter system never could. So there we were, with our pockets jingling and wallets bulging. But then someone thought, hey, wouldn't it be easier if we could just move all this money around without actually moving it? Enter the plastic card, a magic wand that could make money appear out of thin air. Well, not really, but it sure felt like it. Imagine the time when these shiny pieces of plastic started to make their way into our wallets. It was as if we had been handed a ticket to freedom. No longer did we have to lug around hefty wallets filled with change. No more did we have to worry about losing our money or having it stolen. All we needed was this little piece of plastic, and we were good to go. The credit card, as we know it, was born in the mid-20th century. The idea was simple. Why carry around cash when you could just swipe a card? It was convenient, it was easy, and it was, dare I say, classy. Suddenly, paying for things became a breeze. But the advent of credit cards did more than just make transactions easier. It revolutionized the way we handle money. It gave rise to a new kind of financial system, one that was based not on physical cash, but on credit. It was a system where money was no longer something tangible that you could hold in your hand, but rather a number on a screen. And then, as if credit cards weren't enough, along came digital transactions. With the rise of the internet and mobile technology, paying for things became even easier. We could transfer money with just a few clicks or taps. We could pay for our groceries, our bills, our online shopping, all without ever leaving the comfort of our homes. Suddenly, the world was at our fingertips. We were no longer bound by the constraints of physical money. We were living in the credit age. But with great power, as they say, comes great responsibility. The ability to spend money with such ease brought with it its own set of challenges. We were spending more, often more than we could afford. Debt started to pile up. The credit age, it seemed, had a dark side. Plastic money made our lives easier, or did it just make us spend more? Well, that's a story for another day. And now, we've entered the age of invisible money. Cryptocurrencies, to be precise. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but you sure can spend it. Let's kick things off with the granddaddy of them all, Bitcoin. Invented by the mysterious and elusive Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008, Bitcoin was the first of its kind, a digital currency that exists purely in cyberspace. It's like the unicorn of finance. You've heard about it, you've seen pictures, but you can't really ride it to the grocery store. Bitcoin operates on a technology called blockchain, a public ledger containing all transaction data from anyone who uses Bitcoin. Transactions are added to blocks, or the links of code that make up the chain, and each transaction must be recorded on a block. Think of it like a game of financial Tetris. So, what's the big deal about Bitcoin? Well, it's decentralized, meaning it's not controlled by any government or financial institution. It's like the punk rock of currencies. Additionally, it offers anonymity. You can buy that life-size replica of the Mona Lisa without anyone knowing. However, this anonymity has a dark side. It's also been used for less than legal transactions, making it the currency of choice for modern-day pirates. But Bitcoin isn't the only star in the crypto sky. There's Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, and oh so many more. These other cryptocurrencies or altcoins each come with their own unique features and uses. It's a veritable solar system of digital dough. There are challenges though. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile. One day you're a Bitcoin billionaire, the next you're scraping together Satoshis. Plus, the energy consumption of mining these digital currencies is a growing concern. It's like having a money printing machine that also contributes to global warming. And so, we've gone from trading goods and services directly to trading invisible money. What's next? Trading thoughts and ideas? Only time will tell. That's it, folks. Please subscribe. It would really help the channel. Like and share. Until next time, money beggars,